Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and jelly babies. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. My name is Morris, and thank you so much for joining me again for this episode 2. I'm very glad that you're back here, because it means that I must have done something right in episode 1, and that's always a good sign. But then again, there's not really a lot that can really go wrong in the first hour or so of this game. And you know, I was watching that episode back and obviously playing through it again. It's really obvious that this came out in 2006, right? Which I mentioned before, which is kind of towards the end of the PS2 life cycle. Not right at the end, because even when the PS3 came out, they were still making PS2 games. Obviously not as much, but it was it's clearly meant to be an epic. And I think that it's really telling. And I mean, what the opening cinematics are what, just over 10 minutes. I mean, I had a cup of tea and I just blasted through all of it in the intro. I didn't even need to mention it. I've got one with me here right now. But yeah, this was clearly meant to be a kind of one of those epic fantasies. So, when I say that there's a lot of cutscenes and a lot of explanation of things going on at the beginning, it's clear that they're trying to really set up this whole world, so I think that's the reason for that. But I don't mind that at all. Anyway, let's now that we are back in Rabanasta after our little foray into the Estesan there, let's see what's happening. There seems to be some kind of commotion at the gates here. Kites, give me the lowdown. I guess I'm not the only one who got locked out of the city. I told Pinello about the mark you were going after, and I guess I got her worrying. So the two of us headed out to find you. As soon as I stepped out, the guards closed the gates and things got crazy. I haven't been able to find her since.
Stand back there! Back! This gate's closed until the ceremony's over, do you hear?
Now what?
Open the gate! Alright, out the way!
Wait a second. How come you let these chocobos through the gate and not us?
What of it? This here's a pedigreed parader, boy. Cost tens of thousands of gil, this one did. A prettier price than 100 of you provincials would fetch. Keep your distance. We don't want the chocobo sticking a peasant.
What'd you say?
Step aside. Right then, move them in.
Well, that does it.
Ho ho! A fine chocobo you have there. Yes, cedar down stock if I'm not mistaken. Change the soil, change the chocobo, am I right? Yes, different soil means different bouquet too. Take a Dalmascan Barreau's wine, It may lack the flavor and depth of some of your Arcadian wines, but it has a certain strength of character. It's not bad, really, once you get used to it. Care for some, sirs? There's more than enough for all to cool their throats, of course.
You let these carts through them and close this gate as ordered. My mail's choked with this sand.
Don't give me a scare like that. You're lucky that ended where it did.
Right. Now's our chance to go through.
The ceremony will be starting soon. I'd best be hurrying.
Okay, well... Vaughn, wait! What is it? Vaughn!
We will have order. I give you your new consul, His Imperial Highness Lord Vayne Solidor, Commandant of the Arcadian Empire's Western on... Your Excellency.
People of Rabanastre, is it with hatred you look upon your consul? With hatred you look upon the Empire?
Spit on your empire! Move back to Arcadia!
There was little point in asking. But know this, I harbor no idle hopes of frustrating that hatred. Nor shall I ask your fealty. That is the due of your fallen king, and rightly so. King Ramanas loved his people, strove to bring you peace. His was a rule worthy of your devotion. Even now, he remains among you, protecting you. His ardor for the peace and weal of Dalmasca falters not. I would ask only that you do your king honor. Together let us embrace the peace His Majesty would surely desire. 2 years now divide us from war's bitter end, yet still its shadow looms over all, stifling the infant peace a pall only you may cast off. Achieve but this one thing, and your hatred of me and of the Empire will grieve me not. I will stand fast. I will endure your hatred, suffer your slings and arrows. I will defend Dalmasca. Here I will pay my debt. I swear it now. Though King Ramanas and Lady Ash be gone, they stand ever at the side of their people. In honoring peace, you do honor to their memory and to Dalmasca. What I ask plain. My hopes now rest with you.
Is Rabanastre to your liking, my lord?
It is magnificent. Take this cathedral, for instance. Elegant, yet whimsical in its execution. A stunning example of Galtean architecture. I hope Lord Gramus might one day look upon it himself.
Oh, remember the last one? You're all like this at first.
The patron of this evening's banquet, may it please your excellency.
I am Miguel, your highness. It is truly a profound honor to make the acquaintance of our future emperor, highness. The people of Rabanastre join me in welcoming you.
That's enough of highness. Though indeed I am our emperor's son, I am no prince. Arcadia's emperor is freely chosen by her people. I am but an elected official and nothing more.
I meant no disrespect.
Now that I think on it, I would not have you address me as Lord Consul, for that matter.
No?
Henceforth, I am a citizen of Rabanastre. Why don't you call me Vayne?
I could not. That would not be right.
You are overly fond of formalities. I've just the remedy for that. Tonight you will join me, and we shall drink until you call me by name.
How can he stand about to him like that?
Vaughn, you just do not get it, do you? He's not doing it because he wants to.
Lord Vayne never did.
You know what would happen if he didn't.
I know, it's just...
So, what would you do different?
I don't know. Well... I'd do something.
Vaughn. Vaughn! You haven't heard a single word I've said, have you? place has changed so much. It's like it's not even Rabanastre anymore. Like the Empire is swallowing it whole.
Hey, Penel, that fete tonight. You think they'll let us in?
Are you crazy? It's in the palace, and we don't have an invitation if you hadn't noticed.
So, how are we getting in?
As if I'd know. Why not ask Miguelo to get you in? Or go see old Dallin in Lowtown? Why the sudden interest, Vaughn?
I told you, I'm going to take back what's ours. Give back to Dalmasca. Come on, what do you think? If I find something, and it fetches a good price, how about I buy you all dinner?
Oh, please. You know as well as I do the first thing you'd buy is an airship. All hail Vaughn, Sky Pirate of Dalmasca. It's got a nice ring to it. Stay out of trouble.
An airship. I don't know. Maybe, but not through Miguelo. Time to pay old Dallin a visit.
And there you go, once again, I've just completely blown through my cup of tea before we've even really started. But yeah, that's it. I forgot how long that scene was, but that really just goes to reinforce the point I was making. They're really trying to set up a whole world. And, you know, this game, we're going to see a lot of examples of it as we go through, but this game really takes a lot of... Excuse me, sir, do you mind? Sorry, that was totally my fault. I'll move. This game seems to take a lot of inspiration. Not in terms of, maybe not in terms of plot, but certainly in terms of some characters and different elements. It takes a lot of inspiration, I think, from Star Wars, which is totally fine. Because if you're going to take inspiration from anything to make your epic fantasy, it might as well be, you know, the most epic fantasy saga ever, right? I mean, there are a lot of films that I like more than Star Wars, but probably not a lot of universes I like more than Star Wars, let's put it that way. But anyway, it's kind of... You know, introducing the Empire as the bad guys is just one of many examples, and you know you can't really get more of an archetypal bad guy than the Empire, right? And not just the Empire, but it's the Empire that comes from Arcadia, you know, with its capital city of Arcades, and the consul that we were just introduced to there, Lord Vayne Solidor. I mean, there aren't many names ever that really give the impression of I am going to rule with an iron fist and I don't care than Vayne Solidor, you know? But Vayne is a really interesting, or, well, interesting is debatable, but unique is certain. He's a unique antagonist. And he's a unique antagonist because if I hadn't have told you he was an antagonist, you wouldn't really know it. You get this feeling when you see him, you know, he kind of represents the Empire, so you kind of get this thing of, should we be trusting him? But he doesn't come across as... He's not a villain in the sense of he comes in and goes, right, I'm in charge, if you don't agree, I'll chop your head off. He's not that kind of villain. He's much more cunning than that. I mean, what's a better way to rule than actually convincing the people that he's not that bad after all, you know? He's kind of a bit of a dirtbag in that sense. Anyway, we'll learn more about Vayne as we go on. For now, I'm just kind of nipped back into the pub here just to speak to Marge, because here we go, we get the reward for actually defeating the Rogue Tomato. And it's very easy to forget to do this. If you don't come in here for a long time, as I did the very first time I played through this game, totally forgot to even get my reward. It didn't even occur to me. But you get different dialogue here. He's like, where the hell have you been? Why have you taken so long? Anyway, defeated the Rogue Tomato, did you? Well, what a great, helpful chap you are. You did a fine job. Here's some stuff. I'll just get it out of my pocket and throw it in your face. 300 gil, a couple of potions, and a teleport stone. You followed through on that hunt like a real professional. I'm going to let you in on a little something to help you along. Did you ever notice a banger standing watch in front of a building in the north end? It might be worth your time to pay him a visit. Show him the clan primer I gave you, he'll let you in. As for what's there, you'll just have to go see for yourself. We will be going. In fact, you know what? We'll go there right now. So, now that we've done that one hunt, we look at the notice board and we've unlocked another, and as you go through different stages of the game, that's when different hunts unlock. It's not, you can't just do one after the, I couldn't just go and do one after the other right now. You have to actually progress through the story to unlock those hunts. And it's normally the case that I do them in chunks. I'm not going to do every single one for this LP because it's not really worth it. This is more focused around the story than anything else. So it's not, you know, we'd be getting into more tens of hours of playing this if we were going to do every single hunt. Anyway, this is the building that he's talking about. I'm not sure what this sign is for. We'll talk to this conspicuous banger. By the way, I think they're called bangers. I don't think that's a soft G. Banja? I don't know. No, because they say banger in the game, don't they? It's my accent that makes it sound a bit uncultured. Anyway. Ah, so you got your primer. What are you standing out here for? In with you. Are you new? You might want to pay special heed to what the folks inside have to say. Are you going in? I am going in. Let me in. I don't think you have to talk to this guy. I think you can just walk in if you want. But, you know, we're just being polite. Look at that guy. Look at that guy in charge. I'd listen to him. So here we are, this rather grand-looking hall here. Let's see what the people have to say. New member, are you? I'm a hunter here in Clan Centurio. Pleased to meet you. You look like you barely know which end of the sword goes in the monster. Don't do anything to hurt the clan or yourself. Well, I'll try not to. Anyway, let's speak to the man in charge. Yours is a new face. Are you a hunter? Welcome to our clan hall. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Our clan has a very strict entrance examination. We should begin yours at once, and you pass! Muggles are quick to make up their minds. I'm now a member of Clan Centurio. That was so easy. Here in the clan hall you'll hear about especially dangerous marks you won't find posted on any board the moment they rear their ugly heads. Well, I'll get on with filing the necessary clan membership certificates, a lot of paperwork to be done, and for some reason I handle it myself despite being the person in charge. I'll be finished in no time flat. I nearly forgot, now that you remember, you can make purchases from our clan shop in the bazaar. Be sure to stop by. Happy hunting. So, I was just talking about how we're not going to do all the hunts, so you're probably thinking, well, why the hell have you even bothered going in here? You get certain... Although this guy here gives you information about elite hunts, which gets you better rewards, he actually gives you rewards for just completing certain bosses as you go through the story, so it's worth checking back in here every time you're kind of available to do so, just to, you know, just a few extra items and a bit of extra money. All your membership papers are in order. That was so easy, I didn't even have to move. Allow me to give you this to commemorate you joining the guild. I'll have a little something for you each time you attain a new rank, so a few extra potions there. I don't have any hunts to tell you about because you're a baby. Okay. I love this place. So yeah, now that we've joined that, we have access to the elite hunts, as well as access to a few extra rewards we wouldn't normally get, so we'll be coming back here periodically. And you can see there our clan rank in the bottom right is a moppet, which is not very good. I'm not going to be shouting about that too much. Anyway, there's not really much we can do in terms of hunts or anything. Even that one that's available on the board at the moment is a bit above our abilities at the moment, being only level 2, so we might as well carry on with the story. So now we're heading off into Lowtown, which I really like. I like the idea of Lowtown, and you can get to it via these staircases here. A few different ones dotted about. But yeah, if you thought that Rabanasta, you know, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look like a city that's kind of on the verge of war, or that has been through anything particularly bad. It's very clean. But I feel like Lowtown represents, like, the true Rabanasta. With all these layabouts and deadbeats on the floor. Yeah, I like Lowtown. You got your North Sprawl in the north, and what was down south? Oh right, the South Sprawl. I don't know if you're an idiot, or whether you're being sarcastic with me. That old Dallin down there is something else. Get him talking, there's no telling when he'll stop. And there's a few different things going on here. Ooh, chest. 45. There's 45 gil there. You didn't. What? Is this your money, or did you not know it was there? You can just take that money. Angry woman. What's wrong with you? Angry? Of course I'm angry. Isn't it obvious? Living down here the past 2 years, watched by guards whenever I go to the city. Sure, they let you move up there if you have the gil for it, but who has that kind of coin? I just found 45 gil over there. Not sure how much more of this I can stand. So yeah, this is kind of the effect of the war that's been going on, because you get the impression that Lowtown did not really exist before then, and it's essentially people have been forced down here just to kind of avoid the Imperial rule that's going on above. So I know I like Lowtown. I like the music to it as well. Anyway, this is a very good opportunity. I didn't talk about treasure chests in the previous episode because it's kind of running a bit long and I didn't really want to get into it, but this is probably, I'm going to talk about it on 2 occasions, probably this episode, and this is the most appropriate time to get into it because anybody out there who is familiar with the original 2006 version of this game will know that there's a very powerful weapon that you can obtain late on in the game called the Zodiac Spear. And you can still get it in this game, but in the original, you had to fulfill very specific conditions in order to get that weapon, in order for the weapon to even exist at all. And there were 4 very specific chests that you were not allowed to interact with, and one of them was here, or I think it was maybe on this corner, I don't know. But anyway, the point is, in the original, if I were to pick up this chest, this treasure chest, no matter what's inside it, if I pick that up, it means the Zodiac Spear disappears from the game completely. Which is kind of stupid, and it's amazing that it's amazing that anybody even came up with that as an idea. Let's have this thing that if people pick up the wrong treasure chests, that the weapon will just disappear. Because if that's the rule, there's no way you'd ever know about that. There's nothing in the game that tells you about that. You have to look it up. Okay, that's it. It's as simple as. I don't know who found out about it, whatever, that's not important. The point is, it's very common knowledge now. But for me, what is the point of even having any treasure chests at all? You know, there's no incentive to pick those treasures up if there's a chance that things will just disappear, really powerful equipment will just disappear from the game. There's no point in having that. That's just such a strange, stupid decision to really have that. It's one of those things that's like, oh my god, it almost sounds fake. It almost sounds something you read in an old magazine that's like, there's a rumor that if you don't pick these up, you unlock a really powerful piece of equipment. But it's actually true in this. And it just seems a bit stupid. Fortunately, that's no longer the case, and there's only one thing I can think of that is missable, and as far as equipment and everything else goes, there's nothing missable, just from picking up treasures. So, oh, we got a pinch of echo herbs, that's handy. And actually, the whole treasure chest system has been revamped in this game and reset and rejigged a little bit just to make it fair and just to make it so that you actually want to go out there and explore rather than avoid treasure chests at all costs, which is kind of what it used to be like. They used to be pretty useless, but that's not the case anymore. Anyway, I've loitered outside Old Dallin's place for long enough. So let's go see what he has to say.
If it isn't Von Ratsbane. Come for a tip on how to secure something bigger and in armor by the East Gate?
What? You already heard about that?
Wise I may not be, but well informed I am.
They'll get what's coming to them someday, believe me. But that's not why I'm here.
Do tell.
I want to know how to sneak into the palace. They've got to have some great stuff in there. Thought I'd partake.
Not one to mince words, are you, boy? The Empire protects all that's hers, and that means the palace and all the treasures inside.
That's why I'm gonna do it. To take back what's ours.
So, our champion of the sewers aspires to noble action. Admirable. Perhaps I can help you. Ah, Now that I think on it, there was a rumor. Yes, a secret passageway into the palace walls, a door, and a magicked stone that opens the way.
That's it. This is exactly why I came to talk to you first, Alan. So, where's this, magic stone?
Oh, I've had it for years, if I can remember where I've tucked it away.
I've heard all I need, so this crescent stone, can I have it? Then I can find the secret passage. Listen to me, man. The crescent stone has lost its magics. I really like that they spell magic with a K. It's one of those things. I don't know, there's something about it. It's just magic, but the fact that you spell it with a K just makes it unique to your kind of game. I don't know. Anyway. Right, so where can I get one of these sunstones that I need to get in? You seek Giza Plains. Speak with the nomads there. You will find your sunstone. Leave by the south gate and continue south. That makes sense. There are likely to be beasts on the plains, so be careful. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be back before you know it. Alright, let's roll. Nice place you got here, Dallin. Nice place. Let's see, Giza. Hang a right, and I'm practically at Southgate. Oh, is that chest back? Nice. See what I mean about the chests? I want to go pick those up. I don't run away from them like it used to be. Alright, so now we're at Southgate. And here's the very first, well, it's labeled Rabanasta Crystal. This is actually a teleport crystal. So, because, you know, this game's pretty big, and you gotta run to a lot of places. Fortunately, we also have the option to teleport. So you do get a ship later on, which, you know, like normal, where you can kind of fly all over the world as you wish. But that only becomes available right at the end of the game. So if you want to travel long distances, all you can really do is teleport. Obviously, the only place we can go now is Rabanasta, so there's not really much point. But yeah, all the teleport crystals are orange. Handy dandy. I wish that was a thing in real life. I imagine we're many, many hundreds of years from that technology. Nobody questions why the teleport crystals are there. Just seems to be a very common thing. Anyway, let's head out into Giza, shall we? Another desert location. Rabanasta is kind of like Las Vegas. You know, it's got a desert to the east, a desert to the west, and a desert to the south. And I assume just a desert to the north. It must be scorching in Rabanasta all year round. That's why everybody kind of goes pretty much topless. I mean, I imagine Vaughn's pretty sweltering even in what he's wearing. All right, so Giza a little bit more deadly than the Estesan. The Estesan is kind of the introductory area. This place is slightly more difficult, but nothing we can't handle. But yeah, you'll notice when we target people, and when I say people, I mean monsters. If you look in the top left, that's where your target information is, and anything that's any enemy that's written in blue, you can take no problem. In fact, I think, yeah, that rabbit over there, that non-hostile rabbit, we could take that pretty well. So that's in blue. Anything that's kind of, well, you can take it, but you're gonna have to concentrate a little bit. That's normally in yellow, and anything that is just don't go near it, it'll be written in red. Anyway, we can take this hyena, I think. XP is not really a massive issue at this point. Besides, we're so close to town, it doesn't really matter if we get injured. There's not a lot that can happen to us. And Giza is where we're going to find a very specific treasure chest. But I'll talk about that when we get to it, and that'll kind of round off the discussion about treasure in this game. Alright, well that was easy to get to the village. No problem. Alright, let's talk to you, shall we? Because we haven't spoken to any shops whatsoever, I don't think. The wary traveller never passes the chance to restock his supplies. Well, that's true enough. So you'll notice we have buy, sell, but also the bazaar, which we can't actually get access to yet. The bazaar is a sort of special menu where if you sell certain loot, certain amounts of different loot, to any vendor whatsoever, you unlock bazaar items, which are... sometimes they're special things, but generally it's kind of just normal items that you'd find, but at a discount. Anyway, we can sell that small package that we got. It even says there, package received from a banger merchant who wants it delivered to associate at Eastgate. That associate is gone now. You only have the one opportunity to actually give it to him, and I don't think that you can find him anywhere else. So we'll get rid of that. Get rid of these wolf pelts. Teleport stones for some reason appear in the loot menu, but never sell teleport stones, just in case you need them. And we don't need to buy anything, really. Actually, no, let's buy Cure. I didn't realize she actually sold Cure, but yeah, let's buy that anyway. Alright, well, thank you for your business. So, who do we talk to? Who should we speak to? I believe it's over here. It's one of these people. Have you come to see the dark crystals? Not everyone takes well to the heat of Giza. Ah, it's a sunstone you seek. Then you've come to the right place. They can only be made here. They're quite valuable, so we can't go handing them out to anyone who happens to wander through our camp. We make and sell sunstones to earn the money we need to survive, even though the city is right there. And, you know, moving would not really be much of a problem. I would like to hear your offer. We get the kids to make sunstones, and the adults just kind of loaf around. One of the kids has not yet returned. He left carrying our supply of shade stones. Throw a mad shade on those stones. You'll find Jin for me and tell him to come back to the camp. Oh, if you find Jin for me, tell him to come back to the camp. You may take one of the sunstones he's made in return. Blah blah blah. You just go find him. Okay.
Penelo? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same, though the answer is pretty clear. No good.
What? I'm being good.
Is that right? So, then you wouldn't mind if I, say, tagged along, would you?
Huh?
Oh, don't worry. Miguelo's busy with preparations for the fete up at the palace. Why, I'm free for the whole day. Well, let's get going.
Penelo joins the party. Alright, so for the first time ever, we have our second party member. Wow, she has no health. Anyway, that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, Penelo is, I guess, the counterpart to Vaughn. I don't think that Vaughn or Penelo work very well on their own as a character. Vaughn a little better just because he's just the person that you control as you go through the different towns, and that's always the same. I guess Penelo is just kind of the other side to the coin, really. I guess Vaughn is meant to be placed in a sort of almost as the player. I mean, when I first played this, I was, like I said, 15/16 when I was playing it, and Vaughn at the moment is 17, so he's kind of, I guess he's supposed to be the intended target audience, maybe, and Penelo is kind of the flip side of that, you know, just the female version of that. So I think that it's really easy to, or it was really easy to dismiss Vaughn and Penelo, but I think they work really well together. I think they work much better as a pairing than anything else. By the way, I know that now for 2 episodes in a row, I've defended Vaughn. I don't want you to think that I'm, you know, this champion of Vaughn. I think he's an amazing character. I don't really, but I just think it's important to look at him in the right way, rather than going, oh, shit character, you know, and just kind of dismissing him. Anyway, let's move out, shall we? Hey Vaughn, let me give you these. Let me just throw them in your face real quick. There are all sorts of monsters out there. Another 3 potions, and some Phoenix Downs. So far you've been traveling by yourself, but now that I'm here, we're gonna party! You can give commands to allies in your party, just like you've been doing for yourself. I'll make my own decisions, because I'm a strong, independent woman, but you can also give me specific commands. Yes. You can now change leaders and issue party commands. Oh, by the way, if you don't want me to fight, turn my gambits off. With my gambits off, I won't do anything. Did you really think about using gambits? Alright, let's go. Well, now I'm ready, Penelo. Thank you for all the information. Wasn't Jin supposed to be somewhere around to the south? Let's go. Alright, so now we have Penelo, who will follow everywhere, which is nice. So yeah, gambits. We're not going to get into gambits until a little later on, but for now we can, at the very least, turn them on. Gambits are basically your pre-selected actions. So it's what do you want Vaughn and Penelo and everyone else to just do automatically without you having to constantly input commands. So although we can't actually manipulate those commands yet, I believe the gambits at the moment are just set to attack. And that's it. We can't actually modify them yet, we don't have the full access to that. Anyway, before we go anywhere, you'll notice that Penelo does not have her own license board yet. And Penelo is one of those characters that, you know, when I was going through this when I was younger, didn't really get a look in, because I didn't really, there wasn't much character to her, so I didn't really use her that much. But now, I have made her my White Mage, and I'm going to do so again. And the White Mage, as we all know in any Final Fantasy, in any RPG, the White Mage is just the heart and soul of the whole party. And this is what I'm talking about. This new job system, is that the right one? Yeah, Cure. That's why we buy Cure early on. But yeah, this new job system, it just gives everyone their part to play. So now Penelo is actually useful, which is awesome. So now she can cure, whereas Vaughn can't do anything. He can heal himself. I think he can use it. There's a technique you can use called First Aid, but it's not really that useful, so. Get a White Mage in the party as soon as possible. Am I right, guys? Guys and girls, am I correct in my saying? Am I correct in my thinking? The sooner you can get a White Mage in, the better. Alright, so these are very scary looking creatures, but they're not actually that tough. So you can see now, if I attack, then Penelo should automatically attack the same thing. And combat is kind of... There's not really a lot to it at the beginning. Until you unlock the Gambit system fully, there isn't really that much to be doing at all. Nice one, Penelo. You might as well get used to that Cure spell, because you're going to be using it quite a lot. Anyway, I believe the magic chest that we want is just down here. Alright, so that guy's asleep, and his name's in red, so I'm not going to attack him just in case. You never know what might happen. In fact, just heal me up real quick. So this is a chest that I... oh my goodness, an Alpha Hyena. Let's not attack that either. Let's just... maybe we should just grab the chest and go. So this is... if I remember rightly, I'm getting this from the guide, by the way, because I totally missed this the first time I went through the game. But there you go. We obtained Blind, which is a spell that we can't use yet, and we won't be using for some time. So I think you need... I can't even remember what kind of mage you actually need. Maybe Black Mage to use Blind. But that's a really important spell, and it's one of the best spells in the whole game. And it's going to see us through a lot of boss fights. And we're just going to... I don't know why you woke up. We're just going to run past you. Oh my goodness. A lot of things are spawning here that shouldn't be. Let's just keep going. What is that? I don't remember serpents spawning here. Wild snake. Can I kill that? It's only in yellow. I guess I can. Might as well, right? Thank you. Try not to get into too much trouble in this area. So I believe we've got to head round to the... oh yeah, big red X on the map. That might be where we have to go. But yeah, that blind spell is really just to finish off what we're saying about chests. That never used to be the case, that you would find, you know, unique spells, and it's not just spells, but you get weapons and also pieces of armor and different accessories. They all appear in chests now, and they never used to. And it sounds like a really basic thing. Like, why would they not include that stuff? Surely that's RPG 101, is to include, you know, unique stuff inside different chests, but it was just never part of the original game, and so again it just there was no incentive to go hunting for things. But now, because that's there, suddenly you want to explore. I mean, there's nothing else really to find in Giza at the moment, but you know, it says to the player, go explore, because you'll find stuff that you really need, you know? Rather than just kind of bolt it to the next village and check the shop for all the new spells you can buy, now it's actually, you gotta go out and actually find some stuff yourself. Yeah, my name's Jin. What's it to you? Hey kid, why don't you drop the attitude? That could be a problem for me to go back. Let's see. Yep, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. Oh. I guess my leg is hurt. He says his leg hurts, but how could he do that? How could he squat down like that? That must be killing him. I tripped running for some monsters. But I'm not finished making my my sunstone just yet. I do need a sunstone. But I can't walk, so you have to do it. Just throw it in your face. There's your shadestone. Alright, so all this kid is doing is saying, hey, hold up this stone to these, and then you'll make a sunstone. Voila! Easy. Here's this really modern-looking energy bar. This totally non-immersion breaking energy bar. I have a really bad habit of touching save crystals at all possible opportunities. Even though nothing happened there, I still had to touch it again. So yeah, this is a really easy kind of mini-game, I guess. Wow, 55%. I was just going to say, the amount of energy you get from different crystals varies quite a bit. So you can get in the 20s. I don't think I've ever seen it go as high as 55 just from one crystal. But yeah, on a normal day it takes about 3 crystals to fill that up. And on a bad day it takes 4. But looks like this is a good day for us. So yeah, again, this is it's very it's easing you into this world, I think. Where am I going? Okay, this way. There's nothing too heavy going on, but I guess it kind of had to be like that. I mean, thinking back, although you look at this and go, yeah, the battle system seems pretty simple to get the hang of, it was still very different at the time, you know? This wasn't RPG standard. I like that the XP flashes up there, and you see we get license points as well from actually defeating enemies, so we can unlock more stuff. I don't think I mentioned that. And the tougher the enemy, the more LP you get. Obviously, these aren't really worth anything at the moment. The only thing, I guess, the downside to this kind of system, I mean, I really like this. I love this more than turn-based, you know, random battles. I like being able to go in and, you know, fight what I want or run away from what I want really easily. I much prefer this kind of system. But it still shares some kind of characteristics from old games. You've just got to kind of approach it in the right way. So you know how you would sometimes get, you know, preemptive strikes, you know, in old turn-based stuff. You can still kind of get preemptive strikes on everything in this. Because I can target that hyena can't see me right now, but I can still target it from here. So if I fill up the attack gauge right there, I can just run in and hit it immediately before it can do anything. And if you have, you know, 3, sometimes 4 characters, all with, you know, a full attack command already in there, you can kind of get preemptive strikes. Ah, I got barely anything from that one. Alright, where's the next one? The only downside, I guess, to this system, like I was about to say, is that although I do love the soundtrack for this game, and I absolutely adore the fact that it's all been, you know, done with a proper orchestra and everything, all re-recorded. And, you know, it sounds amazing. There's no, you know, universal battle theme. There's no kind of FF7 type theme to go with all the fights. So all the music is kind of... I don't know, although I really like all of the music, there's nothing there that's really kind of punchy in terms of battle themes. The boss themes and the summon themes as well are pretty good. But there's no kind of standout track, I don't think. It's more kind of... It's a more well-rounded soundtrack. There's nothing in it that's weak, but there's nothing in it that's massively amazing either. But it all sounds good. Hey, level up. Alright, we might as well get these chests. There's nothing in it, there's nothing in any of these that's going to be massively valuable, but a bit of extra gil, you know, a potion, maybe Phoenix down every now and then. You can't say no to those. Please fill up. Yes. I was going to say we would be really unlucky if that did not fill up. Nothing to it. Let's take it back to Jin. Let's go. You obtain a sunstone. That was super easy. Let's take a look. Well, not bad for you city folk, you city slickers. So, here's what happened. Stay away from the werewolf, she said. Well, we didn't do that. Started out as a lark. But Todd said that none of us... What kid of his age knows the word lark? But Todd said that none of us kids living on the plains should be scared of monsters. I got carried away. I'm surprised you're alive. Anyway, my leg's feeling better. Let's head back to the village. Race ya! That's a coincidence. Suddenly it's feeling a lot better. I'm not sure I trust this kid. Jin made it back safe and sound. Please take these. Thank you. He gave you a sunstone. I hope it's useful. I'm sure it will be. Not a lot else to do in this village at the moment. Other than look at these cute little cockatrices. Cockatrices? Cockatrice? I don't know the plural. But... Look at this tiny one. That's amazing. Look at this giant one. Oh, I love him. Yeah, that's a badass right there. Looks hungry. Yeah, I bet. Don't worry, they won't bite. They're as tame as can be. Aren't they just the fluffiest, cutest things you've ever seen? I guess so. Alright, let's head back, shall we? I don't think there's anything else we really need to buy or sell. I guess we can get rid of this stuff while we're here. There we go. So now we've sold a certain amount of loot. We unlock the first of the bazaar goods. Unassuming surcoat. Simple surcoat stitch from choice pieces of leather. So the thing to remember about these bazaar items is a lot of the times you don't really know what they are. You just kind of have to guess based off the description. So that was obviously a piece of armor, but I don't know what it is, but we don't need it at the moment. I know that for a fact. And at any possible opportunity, we also want to talk to these guys as well, the Cartographers Guild. I'm just a traveling Moogle trying to scrape by. Big lightning balls, what the hell are you talking about? Would you like to buy a map? So yeah, you can buy maps of the different areas. You won't regret it. We don't necessarily need a map, but it's nice to have them just to kind of fill out the areas so you know where you're going. Anyway, we're pretty much done with Giza for now, so let's head back. And another thing about this this battle system, and we're going to see a bit more later on when I can actually use a proper example. But at the moment we've got two characters here who only use, you know, close range melee attacks. But that's not the only way to fight in this game. But like I say, because of the whole debacle with the licenses in the original version, you know, you kind of, if you could buy a really strong sword in a shop, then you just buy 3 of them. So all your characters would be close range, you know, melee fighters. But now you can't really play the game that way. You know, you kind of have to pick a variety of jobs, and some of those jobs don't involve close range fighting. So, you know, where it used to be you'd have people in the front row and people in the back row, so people in the back row would take less damage in your kind of turn-based fights. You kind of have that system here, because people who use guns or bows, for example, they won't be right up in the enemy's face. So you kind of have a much more balanced and varied party, you know, kind of team dynamic going on. So you could have, you know, you can much more easily now have support characters rather than just have everyone be this kind of, you know, ninja just right up in the thick of it, you know. Do we want to save here? Yeah, I guess we do. I'll go back and see old Alan, and then I think I will call it for this episode. God, where am I saving the game? I think it's that one. I don't even know. It was like, I think it's the bottom 3. I think those are the ones I want. God, hopefully I'm right. I really don't want to save over my other game. That will be a problem. God, it's a really fancy looking gate. But yeah, this is clearly, this is connected to the sewer system. So this obviously was not meant to be lived in. But the people were kind of forced down here. More echo herbs. Somebody just keeps putting echo herbs down there.
Hey, Vaughn.
Hmm?
It's been a long time since we did anything together. Too long. I had a really good time. Well, I should probably be getting back to the store. Actually, I was kind of supposed to be watching the place for Miguelo. And Vaughn, try to stay out of trouble. For me, I don't know what I'd do if you weren't here, if something happened to you.
I'm not going anywhere, okay?
That's what I wanted to hear. See you later.
Sorry, Penelo.
Alright, Dallin. Lay it on me. Oh, you got a sunstone. That did not take long.
Now you'll be wanting to know how to sneak into the palace, eh? First you go to Storehouse 5. You know the one. 2 doors she has. Now the right takes Ban Ratsbane to his territorial hunting grounds in the sewer bottom. But that's not the way you'll go. No, you'll take the left door down into the Garum Scythe waterway. The waterway leads to a stair. The stair to the palace cellars. That's your way in. But don't go counting your gil just yet, my boy. Getting into the palace was the easy part. The way into the treasury is carefully hidden. That's where this crescent stone comes in. The magics it bears can open the hidden door to the treasury, you see. Listen, Vaughn, for the words I shall speak are most important, and not to be forgotten. Do you understand? The signet yearns for sunstone strength to light the clouded way. Once in the palace, you'll find the signet tile, very important. Give to it the sun's power, and it will light your path. Very well. Oh, a warning. Be aware that if you're caught, you'll spend the rest of your short life rotting in the Nalbina dungeons. So, look sharp, my boy. And don't go running off before you're ready. Plans freshly hatched have a habit of tumbling from the nest straight into the hunter's stew pot.
God, Dallin, do you need like a throat lozenge or something? That cough, you want to see someone about that. Anyway, thank you for the help. Alright, well I'm going to nip upstairs and just give it a wee save.
Squads 3 through 6 are in place. They stand ready. So far, the Imperials haven't noticed a thing.
Then go now and hurry the others. By nightfall, we must ensure all our men are in place.
Sir. Sir!
Aha, mystery, intrigue. Always leave an episode on a cliffhanger. That's that guy with the dark hair and the armor there, Vossler, who we saw in the intro. Was actually played by Nolan North, good old Nathan Drake, before he was, you know, one of the big names. No Troy Baker in this game, though, I don't think. Anyway, right, I'm gonna save it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Wow, another one that's almost an hour long. I hope that the episode length is okay. I hope that it's bearable. But I'm sure you can kind of understand why I'm not, you know, keeping them to kind of 25, 30 minutes, because there is a lot to get through. There is a lot to get through in this game, especially early on. Nevertheless, I hope you're all enjoying it, and take care of yourselves, and I will see you in episode 3. See you later.